Panic at the Disco. Aaron Gordon is out for at least 4 to 6 weeks. Scary news, but also potentially good news for the Nuggets. It could have been way worse. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Nuggets loss to the Kings last night, and we'll talk about how the Nuggets can survive without Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun here on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Network, your team every day. Thank you so much for tuning in today's episode and being an everydayer. Thanks for joining us here on a Sunday night episode of No Jinx as we talk about the Denver Nuggets, the Aaron Gordon news that everybody was waiting for. It wasn't great. It could have been worse, but now Denver's going to be without one of their main guys for a while. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head on over to FanDuel.com to get started. My name is Ryan Blackburn, host here at Locked On Nuggets, also over at Mile High Sports and the Pickaxe and Roll podcast. Matt likes to do this where he's showing how long we've been credentialed for, because we are always there. We are always trying to get the best source news for you guys possible. This is my 7th season, in the arena. It feels like it's been great. It's been here for a long time and very excited to be able to do it. Matt, I think you're muted.
You're a veteran. I also do that because our system that grades us says to not ever list your social media credentials and always talk about your credentials as a reporter. So
because that makes us more.
I'm a kiss ass. That's
I see that. That's gonna get flagged. He is Matt Moore of HP Basketball, the Hardwood Paroxysm, Substack, the Denver Dig, the Action Network, all the good places where you can find him. Also over at Fansided. Make sure to go follow and support his work as well. Matt, where do you want to start? We could either go with the Aaron Gordon news specifically, or we could talk about the Kings loss and then the residual effects of losing Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's do the Kings game quick.
Okay.
So I think this is the one I struggle with. You as a fan don't have to excuse your team losing. You just don't have to. You could just be mad. You could just be like, I do expect you to win every night. Right. And you could be like, well, I don't expect you to win every night, but I expect you to beat the Kings. I think the NBA season, with it being so long, it's just, there was a point where I kind of transferred into accepting and understanding how these teams go, because where I do kind of get to is, okay, well, do you want them to win the big games? Because we talked about that. Yeah, you need to win the big games, beat some good teams. Okay. And you want them to beat the bad teams. Yeah, there's no reason for you to lose to the bad teams. Okay. What about the teams that are as good as you? Well, no, everyone's either better than you or worse than you. No one's like that. Okay. So then what we're really saying is they shouldn't ever lose. And in the course of 82 games, you're going to lose. It was bad. It was a bad loss. It's especially frustrating because it's the Wolves game and the Bulls game comes out as a wash in the end. You won one, you were in a bad situation, down 2 starters versus the Wolves with Anthony Edwards. You won that game. Then you lose to the Bulls, a game you should win, when they were on the 3rd and 4 back-to-back. Then you beat the Rockets, best win of the season. Unbelievable win. Gutsy. Incredible. That was a kick-ass win. And then you lose to the Kings on the back-to-back without Domas Sabonis. And it's just it washes out those good wins. But I also think if we take the 16-game sample, which also consider that, okay, 82 games, so roughly 8 games is 10%.
Yeah.
So we're 20% of the way through the season, and the Nuggets are 12-4. I think when you look at the aggregate, I don't understand being as frustrated as people are about it. And the Cola's comments getting the attention that it did was really surprising me, because I'm just guys, he's never yeah, I think we're great. We're awesome. Probably gonna win the championship. Never. He's never gonna say that.
You just get too complacent at that point for a team that has so long to go, that has so many lessons to learn. And I was going to bring that up because I asked David Adelman about that and the perspective of being okay with a loss every now and then because you are 12-4. And he kind of took that mentality, that big picture perspective, which he has to. But a player, specifically Nikola Jokic, is obviously going to be riding the highs and lows a little bit more and like needs to be present in order for the team to win those games. And it was unfortunate that it didn't come out. It was unfortunate that they weren't able to get it done. It was unfortunate the manner in which they lost, where they couldn't get any stops. Russell Westbrook was the one to dominate them in the end.
I want to personally apologize that you had to be in the arena to watch Russell Westbrook do that.
It was I had my audiobook in for 3.5 quarters, Matt. It was great. Let me tell you. No, I think that Russell Westbrook probably can and could be on this team and making this team better. I think that that's a narrative that has popped out there, especially as we talk about backup point guard stuff and the choices that the Nuggets made. And I understand why they didn't go and bring him back. But there's no question that, especially in moments like this where Aaron Gordon goes down, Christian Brown goes down, it would be really nice to have Russell Westbrook to give you another creative option, to give you somebody else who can play hard. And he's going to do that for 82 games.
I want to credit you for saying that. Like that's big of you to say that.
Growth.
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately with the Kings game, everyone's like, don't blame everyone's tired. It's like, yeah, but man, like the problem really is that when you talk to the players and coaches, they are stuck in the situation where they know that if they say that, they're going to get that's not what fans want to hear. So they say the thing that they're supposed to say, which is like, we just got to be better. We just got to be better. But if you actually ask them, do you lose? If you ask the Nuggets, if you got them off record and we're like, do you lose this game if you actually got to go home, if you had a day of rest? They'd be like, no.
Yeah,
we got into Denver at 3 a.m. and then we played a fast-paced team on a back-to-back that's desperate and tail spinning, and they found enough ways to get this done. And that's annoying, and that's a flaw in the NBA product. That's my annoyance is that game is not indicative of who those two teams are. It just isn't. And on any given Sunday, right? Any given night, that happens in the NBA.
Yeah. That's
right.
The other thing I want to make mention of is this back-to-back thing where we talk about the Nuggets being tired and the Nuggets get a little bit of a pass on the second night of a back-to-back. That's not who they usually are, though. They've usually been a team that has been amazing in the second night of back-to-backs.
I think I'm a believer that every season you're different. I think that might be the thing this year, man. I don't think they're going to be as good on second night of back-to-backs. They're older now.
Is that the primary reason?
I think so. The teams that are young, I say this as somebody who's old now, and it sucks. And it's just this is a reality. Is look, man, because I was thinking about this, about why it's so much harder for me now. It's harder for me now. I started going to Nuggets games when I was 27. Okay. And it was got back from the game at 2 a.m. Got to bed, got back from the game at 1, got to bed at 2, back up at 7 with the baby. No problem. Now it's like an apocalypse for me. And I don't play basketball.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just it does get, I think, a little bit harder. I think this season they won't be as good in those disadvantage spots, which I think is actually kind of telling, where it's maybe that when they have their best punch is better. And I kind of ask you, wouldn't you rather it be that?
Of course.
I mean, maybe.
Well, I mean, to get through a regular season, maybe not, but certainly when the playoffs come, and that's where we're going to talk about for this. The Nuggets have to take the long view on a lot of the injuries that they are suffering and some of the losses that they are going to accumulate as a result of this. They have to take the long view and they have to be patient, because April, May, and June are what matters. It is not November. And like I said, they've already done the work. They've already done the work for the first 20% of the season. If you just multiply this by 5, they're going to go 64-16, 64-18 in that general range. If you just continue this pace, that would be incredible. And nobody's nobody's questioning as to actually that math doesn't work out. It's like 61-20. I'm not sure how that manages to work out there, but overall, like Denver is in a good place. I do think that we are in a different segment of the season now where like the first 15 games where you've established the tone and now the next story of the season is how are you going to survive the injury bug?
Yeah, let's talk about the injury stuff because I'm really interested to get your thoughts on the rotation and some other stuff coming up on Locked On Nuggets.
That is awesome. Let's be real, folks. No one starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings or managing pay spreadsheets. That's where Gusto comes in to take the stress out of payroll, benefits, and HR so you can focus on running your business and supporting your team. Gusto is the all-in-one remote-friendly payroll and HR platform that makes managing your team simple, transparent, and fast. Whether you're hiring, onboarding, or paying employees, Gusto helps you do it all from one place without the hassle or hidden fees. Unlimited payroll runs for one monthly price, which means no surprise charges at the end of the month. And knowing you can reach certified HR experts is such a big deal because not everything's going to go right all the time. You're going to need to talk to somebody, and who better to talk to than an expert? And Gusto has those people. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/lockedonnba and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's right, 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/lockedonnba. One more time, that's gusto.com/lockedonnba. We are also brought to you today by Wayfair. Ooh, wrong button. The holiday season is around the corner, and that means it's time to get your holiday season and your home ready. Whether you need more seating for guests, cozy new linens, or fun serveware for holiday hosting, Wayfair's Black Friday sale coming right up is here to make your space shine. And the best part, you don't have to wait. Wayfair's Black Friday deals are happening all month long with up to 70% off from everything from sofas to spatulas. I'm looking at new furniture. We've got a couch that's pretty old. We're trying to figure out how to upgrade best. I know that when I tune into Wayfair, when I take a look, it's going to be something I'm looking for consistently, and especially when I'm looking to buy gifts for other people. Wayfair is the best place to do that if you want to get something awesome. Browsing through their site, it's easy to find pieces that actually fit your style. Nothing generic, just quality designs that feel personal. Don't miss out on early Black Friday deals. Head on over to wayfair.com to shop Wayfair's Black Friday sale for up to 70% off. That's WAYFAIR.com. Sale ends December 7th. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. We are back. Locked On Nuggets. Thank you so much for being a part of the day. Thanks for being an everydayer, folks, as we kick off No Jinx to start the week. Got some fun, interesting stuff coming up in a couple weeks, so make sure to stay tuned. All right, Matt, let's talk about Aaron Gordon. We got the news earlier today, according to Shams Charania, also a report from the Denver Nuggets, of course, that Aaron Gordon is going to, has a right hamstring strain, a grade 2 right hamstring strain, as we posited it could be. Going to miss at least 4 to 6 weeks and then be reevaluated after that. Your initial reaction to that absence?
Which hamstring did he suffer in the conference finals?
Left hamstring. This is a different hamstring.
All right. So I want to start right there with dispelling some myths, because somebody was like, it's worrisome that he was off all summer and then he still got hurt again. Well, it's a different hamstring. Like that happens.
And by the way, the calf injury was what he suffered at the beginning of last year that held him out for a bit. So it's different things, guys.
So I don't want to be Pollyanna and I don't want to be doomer. I just kind of want to be very much in the middle on this. They will lose more games than they would have if Aaron were healthy. I don't think they fall off the cliff. Some people have asked, why weren't they resting him? I think you need to understand the dynamics of how this stuff actually works in the NBA.
the training staff will go to them and say, hey, here's where you're at. Like, this is our evaluation of where your fatigue level is at. This is the concern level that we have based off of what you've expressed, if he's sore or whatever else.
Right.
The player still gets to make that call. The most important person in that situation is the player. He gets to make that decision. Now, organizations at times have pressured guys to play, like or the Warriors with Kevin Durant, when they were like trying to pressure him back from that calf injury, right? The training staff is in this really nasty spot of like, you're probably going to be fine unless you're not. And it's, the guys want to play. They get paid a lot of money. They take pride in what they do. And Aaron, as always, knows that Joker's tired and hurt and still playing through it. They're going to lose more games than they would have. I don't necessarily find panic to be necessary here. I'm kind of like, yeah, they're still going to be better than most teams most nights. Like, this team's still really freaking good. Yeah. Aaron has the best plus minus on the team after Yoke. So the on-off differentials suggest that it's going to be bad. Aaron also plays more of his minutes with Nikola. Like, there's a direct correlation there. Now, I think Aaron makes Nikola better than anybody. I think even Jamal. I think Aaron makes Nikola better because of what Aaron does on the defensive end. They still have so much weapons. Like, this offense is still just going to hum. Like, they are so good. They're still going to be really great. Here's what it looks like in terms of if we do 5 weeks from right now, Ryan.
Okay.
14 games, 7 home, 7 away, 1 rest disadvantage game, 1 rest disadvantage game, 3 back-to-backs, which is dead smack in the middle of where everybody else is in the schedule.
Did you count the 2 added games that they will have from the NBA Cup?
No.
So, okay. 16 games at that point.
Right. And 1 home, 1 away.
Yeah.
8 home, 8 away. I think that night by night, they can find some answers. Do they probably want to get a look at Duran? Probably. Like, I think this is probably the time when it's like, look, we have questions, but we at least need to see. Because this was their thinnest position coming into the year, and they knew it. Everybody talked about backup point guard, but it's like they have guys that can dribble, that can literally dribble the ball up the court. They do not have another power forward. They just don't. They don't have another power forward. You'll see more of the 2 big lineup, which can give that lineup time to work through its not struggles, but just like to get better. And it could be really effective. I personally do not see the need to panic. I don't think that they fall off some cliff. And if they do, I do have a comp for you. If you're somebody who's like, Matt's crazy, they're going to suck without 2 starters. Okay. I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. The 2011 Mavericks lost Caron Butler in November of that season. They got off to a start that was like, oh, like the Mavericks are like good. And then Caron Butler got hurt, and then Dirk got hurt. And everyone forgot about them. And then they won the title because they got healthy at the end of it. Even though they didn't have Caron, they figured out stuff. You're never going to be the same team at the end of the season as you were at the beginning. And this is my big thing that you and I kind of disagree on. Is like, I'm not surprised at this. Everybody has these kind of injuries. So I've gone long. I don't personally feel the need to panic over it. I don't think that it's like, man, they're in real trouble. I'm just going to like, okay, it's not good, but they'll figure it out.
I don't feel the need to panic either, for what it's worth. The Nuggets are a very good team. And while we can argue about whether he's the second or third most important player, he's third leading scorer. He's a guy who's going to be second on the team in rebounding most nights. He's going to defend the opposing team's best front court player a lot of the time, the best forward. And he has the versatility that you're really hoping for. Last year when so in comparison to last year when he was out for a prolonged period of time, it was actually only 4 weeks that he missed last year with the strained calf. They were 3-3 when he left. They were 10-7 when he got back. They were 7-4 in the 11 games that he missed. And then he started coming off the bench after that. If the Nuggets go at a pace of 7-4 without him, and like it's 16 games. So let's say it's 10-6 or 11-5 without him. That's fine, man. It's just not the end of the world in any way, shape, or form. And anybody that tries to make it that big of a deal, I think is like, that's just not fair to what the Nuggets have already accomplished.
A couple of things. We can go a little bit long here, I think, on the segment. One, there's talks about like, yeah, but then the rest of the West will run away from them. Do you think that they're not going to suffer injuries too? Because they are. Like, OKC is going to run away. You're not catching OKC. Give it up. That's fine. OKC is its own beast. And if you want to do more about OKC, I can't stop you. I have no argument. I can't be like, well, all I can really be is like, you pushed them to 7 and you weren't good last year.
Nuggets have officially dropped to 3rd in the West, by the way. The Lakers are now 2nd.
Those teams will also suffer these injuries and will go through bad stretches. They will lose inexplicable games at the Kings games. Like, they will go through these same kind of things too.
Yeah.
It is really about the larger aggregate. Here's a sampling of some of the games. So they got San Antonio and Phoenix. The Phoenix game is actually, I think, really tough. No victor on the San Antonio game. The Spurs are playing well, but I still think that's a winnable game.
Yeah.
Memphis tomorrow. Dallas. Come on. Dallas at home. Come on. Indiana. A wreck still. They're getting a little bit healthier. A wreck. Atlanta. That's a tough game.
Tough game.
Charlotte.
They'll be sneaky tough at that point, but like
who?
Like will.
No, they're gonna beat the Charlotte Hornets by 20 points.
I'll take that bet.
Okay, we'll do it. We'll do that. Orlando at home, coin flip. Even if you want to say that's a coin flip, I think Denver's demonstrably better. Coin flip. Houston at home, probably a loss without AG and Christian. Right? Utah home, dub. Dallas away on a back-to-back, tough, 50, but I still say a dub. Minnesota at home on Christmas, maybe a loss. Cool. Then Orlando on the road, that's probably a loss. Guess what? We are now at the 5-week mark. That's it. You got 2 games in there from the Cup that I don't know who they're going to schedule. Maybe they schedule versus the Thunder again, and you're going to probably lose that game anyway.
At some point during that stretch, by the way, they will probably get back Christian Brown. He's already gone through a week of his recovery, and they said that they would reevaluate him after 6 weeks. So like he'll probably be back at around the Christmas point as well. So I think that they will at that point get some reinforcements and reserves.
And if they want to go out and pursue a big with that final spot, great. I still think that like you need to give Spencer Jones another crack at it. He had one bad game in a bad spot yesterday. I'm willing to give Spencer's been an overall huge net positive. He's been an overall huge net positive. No, you do not play Zeke then. You do not play Zeke.
Does that mean that he should still be the starter, or should they change the starting lineup?
What do you think?
The rotation that I put out today that I think that they should go with involves starting Tim Hardaway Jr., moving Peyton Watson to the 4, starting Cam at the 3, and playing a really good offensive line at the beginning, and then having Bruce, Spencer Jones, and Duran, and even Julian Strawther off the bench with the rotation, and then staggering guys as much as they possibly can. I think they got to go 10-man rotation, and they should try to open it up. They should not be like it's something Adelman said. He can't go with an 8.5-man rotation for this entire stretch. He's got to open it up at some point and get creative. And I think the best way to do that is to put Tim Hardaway out there and to make sure that Spencer is deployed as a smart reserve, as opposed to you have to rely on him for 25 minutes a night.
Yeah, I'm going to keep hammering this point. Their offense wasn't good last night with Spencer on the floor. It was 111. But everyone's like, Spencer scored 1 point. And I'm just like, guys, you didn't lose this game because of your offense. Like, I don't know how often I have to tell you. Like, if you have a 125 offensive rating, you don't need to be worried about how many points Spencer Jones scored. Stop it. You lost because of the defense. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's over. It's the only reason you lost to the Kings is the defense. You play better defense with more energy, you win that game. That's it.
Arguably, you can play harder in fewer minutes, though. And I do think that there's something to be said for coming in off the bench and giving hell for 10-minute stretches.
But look, he has been a good shooter in other places. What if he settles in?
To me, it's not even about that. It's just that I don't think that they need to play as big as everybody else does. Okay. I think they can play smaller and be fine.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you can go through. I don't mind them starting THJ and putting Peyton at the 4 and playing guard, 3 wings, and Yoke. I don't mind it.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. I mean, I don't think Adelman's going to be super reactive. Like he'll like try to give it some time and exchange out some guys, and we'll see if it gets to Duran. That would be cool. Okay. When we come back, we'll do win-loss predictions for the next 16 games, 12-4 in this 16. Let's do a win-loss prediction for the next 16. And then we'll preview upcoming schedule and Jinx of the Week here on Locked On Nuggets. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will come out to score next to the fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Keeps the game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Gotta love a good old round robin. Sometimes the parlays don't always work out, but I worked on a different round robin. I thought that there would be some things that worked out, and they did today. Got a nice little thing to go. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head on over to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your first game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. We are also brought to you today by Doer. I am so excited and have been excited for a long time about this partnership. Doer is arriving here in Denver. I've heard the most amazing things about these jeans. I cannot wait to wear them. Very excited. They are continuing to change denim, continuing to change performance. Doer jeans, they have 5 times more stretch than traditional denim, antibacterial, which means your jeans are staying fresher for longer, and they're made with CoolMax, which regulates your body temperature, something that I need. Wicks away moisture, keeps you cool and comfortable as the temperatures change. They feel stretchy without looking stretchy, which is the most important thing when it comes to wearing some good jeans. Designed to look great, designed to feel great, to keep you comfortable all day. Doer is doing exactly what jeans are supposed to do. They make the world's most comfortable pants without having to sacrifice style. Trust me, once you try these, they'll be your go-to. You can check out Doer in store here in Denver. It's at 2621 Larimer Street. Pick up a pair for yourself or as an amazing holiday gift as we get into holiday season. Mention our promo code LOCKEDONDenver in store to get 15% off your first order, or check them out online at shopdoer.com/LockedOnDenver for 15% off. That's shopdoer.com/LockedOnDenver. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. All right, final segment, Locked On Nuggets. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Hit that like button, folks. Hit that subscribe button. Would really, really appreciate it. If you can, drop a 5-star review on the audio side. We always appreciate when folks are listening in, doing what I did when I was at the arena last night, because the second night of a back-to-back and you're facing the Kings for the third time, sometimes you just got to really check in on what you're listening to on the audio side. Okay, Matt, I teased it last segment. Next 16 games, win-loss prediction. I think I'm going to go with 11-5 over that stretch. Kind of surprising people, as opposed to 12-4 was really good, but they even lost a couple of games that you think that they could make up. I think 11-5 is perfectly reasonable.
6-2, 7-2, 3, 7-4. I'm giving Miami the benefit of the doubt here. 7-5. 10-6.
I think it's reasonable. It might be a little bit aggressive to go 11-5, and they do start that long road trip at the end of that stretch. So they're going to be tired at the end of it. But I do think that Nuggets fans probably overreacting a little bit. Aaron Gordon is obviously very important, but the Nuggets will be okay.
Someone said my microphone is not. My one's right here. Yeah, I think. They'll get CB back. The best argument about their struggles is the toll this will take on Nikola, Jamal, and the other guys earlier is like playing more minutes. This is why actually I think probably starting Peyton. Maybe this is like the best thing about that is Peyton is less likely to have the Will Barton happen to him, where he burns out after playing a lot of minutes in November and December and then is toast by the end of the season.
Argument against starting Tim Hardaway Jr.?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. You kind of want to keep Tim's minutes down, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
And like, look, it sucks that there's not a plethora of options here. You don't have you're not the Thunder. You don't have AJ Mitchell who can just be like, yep, I'm going to come in and score 20 points. You don't have they have a million guys that can come in and just play and give you 20 every night. It's crazy. Like the Thunder development system is nuts. It'd be nice if Hunter was playable. He's not. It'd be nice if Zeke was playable. He's not. But you're also not the only team going through this.
Yeah.
The other thing I would tell you because I was like, again, I was the guy that was like, you're going to burn yourself out 2 years ago when they were pushing themselves post All-Star. The course of the season, you can push yourself a little bit early as long as it's not excessive. Like it was excessive that season because they were without MPJ and Jamal.
Yeah.
This is like the whole year. This is different. You can push for stretches and then back off. And I do want to remind everybody of that March schedule when they are just at home all the time. They have an easy, breezy March schedule that should allow them, if they can survive through January, to be in a really good position to push late, which is actually what you want. I think part of it is like there's no good answers here because like it is kind of interesting seeing the fan base reactions because some people are like, oh no, they're going to burn themselves out trying to hold them up, and then the others are like, you got to win every game, you can't be fifth in the West, and then like I'm kind of like, you have to choose, you gotta pick and choose, and right. Then if it's like, well, you gotta do something now. I mean, you can't trade Cam until January 26th. What do you want to do? Like, whom do you want to trade? If you want to try and go for something like that. And I can just tell you, like, they're not going to freak out that way. AG's out a few weeks. They'll get through it. Christian's has already been out 2 weeks. He'll get back and then they'll be in a better spot with Peyton playing at power forward next to Christian at 2. Like they will continue to get healthier and they'll be okay. If they suffer another injury, does it get worse? Yeah. 100. Yes. But this is where the NBA is now. Look around you, Helen. Look at all the teams dealing with injuries.
Not my jinx of the week, but I do want to give a small prediction here. Cam Johnson's going to look really good over the course of this next 16 games.
He's been looking better every single game.
Yeah, trending up and starting to figure some stuff out. Okay, wrapping up here. Denver's got 3 games in this particular week. It's a weird schedule because of Thanksgiving, of course, but they are at Memphis tomorrow. They're traveling today, of course. Then they come back. They'll be home for a while before take on the San Antonio Spurs, on Friday. So they've got 3 days off. But then they have a back-to-back at the Phoenix Suns on Saturday. I kind of think they win both of these 2 and then lose to the Suns. That's my official prediction that they go 2-1 on this week.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad that they lost to the Kings because we would have been right another week. We've been doing really good on these predictions, and that Kings lost.
I don't know who is we because they already lost to Chicago and burned me. But it was 3-1 that we predicted.
Yeah, we thought they go 3-1.
Made it up against Houston.
This is a 2-1. They beat Memphis. They beat San Antonio. They lose to the Phoenix. That's like the chalk answer.
Yeah.
It's probably going to work out. I wouldn't be shocked if they lost to San Antonio at home and then go on the road and beat Phoenix. If they go 1-2 this week, I'm not going to be panicked. I'm just going to be like, yeah, like they got caught. I am going to be pretty level-headed this season because to me, it's just about what does this team look like when they were healthy? And I was the one that was like, this team is a wagon. Like they are awesome. And
to me, they're already proven. Like I think that they have shown me all of what they need to show. It is just about like, okay, continuing to improve on the margins, continuing to tighten up some things, adding some different wrinkles, getting Cam Johnson fully up to speed. And then like these are playoff answers, man. They're not regular season answers. Denver's going to be 54 to 58 wins, regardless of what happens with the Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown situations. Jinx of the week. I am on Deron Holmes for this week. I don't see any way that Deron Holmes breaks into the rotation this week and plays rotation minutes. I think that would be ludicrous. He's been in the G League for the entire time. Matt, looks like Denver can't win their group. Denver's got an NBA Cup game on Friday.
Not only do they have one, all they need is for the Blazers to get beaten by San Antonio, and they're in prime position to steal the group out from underneath them. But they need the Blazers to get beat by San Antonio and to beat the Spurs.
but can't happen. I mean, those Blazers beat the Warriors twice. How could you bet against those Blazers beating the team's not good?
I hate the Warriors need can't believe Denver lost to them on opening night. All right, that is going to do it for everybody for this episode of Locked On Nuggets. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Really appreciate the love and support on the pod as always. We'll be back Monday night after the Nuggets play against the Memphis Grizzlies. Should be a fun episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to Locked On Nuggets.